Right, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I say to you and the ranking member that I'm just delighted to be on this committee, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, keep thinking, last night I was with you and your family, your daddy, how popular, how excited your daddy is right now. Thinking about the things that are going on and that he is responsible for you, and you're performing. And your cute little nieces, I guess they are, aren't they? I really enjoyed
Miranda and Jessica.
Yeah, they're great. Well, anyway, I say that because, as you well know, I've got 20 kids and grandkids. You got some more work to do, but that's all right. Let me share a couple of things with you that perhaps even you didn't know. I think you probably did know this. I think a lot of the members of this committee did not know this, that I've been on a committee that is like this. The Environment Public Works has a lot of jurisdiction here also in transportation for 21 years. Prior to that, 8 years on the T&I committee in the House of Representatives. So I've been around this thing for a long time. Our biggest problem used to be, when I was in the House, that we had too much surplus in the Highway Trust Fund.
Not anymore.
Yeah, and you outlined in your opening statement why that changed. But that was actually a fact. In fact, I remember when Bill Clinton was first president of the United States, he was looking for some money to rob out of some of their accounts, and he took $16 billion out of the Highway Trust Fund. So those days are behind us, and we can't go back to them. But nonetheless, it's kind of fun to review the history. Let me share something else, and I'm going to ask unanimous consent that 2 articles be made a part of the record this morning. That's the UC, Mr. Chairman.
Without objection.
All right. These articles are articles that were very complimentary to you when you had your previous secretary position of labor. And they talk about how you got on the job. I wouldn't bring this up except it's in writing here. And on virtually the first day, you got everybody in there and said, this is what these are our problems, these are going to be our solutions, we're going to stay on top of them. And you never slowed down from the very beginning.
Thank you so much.
And I would hope and would ask that you do the same thing in this job. And I do happen to know, because they've contacted us, that in the audience here, we have people who were strong supporters of you and worked for you during those years. They're all gone and doing grand things now, but they still have that allegiance and that love for you. In fact, I have to say this. In the years that I've been here, and that's 30 years now, I've never seen anyone come into get the nomination for a position that people loved more than you. There's got to be a reason for that. All right, a couple of specific things that I do want to get in. And one is, we've been talking about the big issue, the privatization and all of this, and I think I might be the only active commercial pilot on this committee, and so I deal with this. And on controllers, I know that there's other options out there, as has been pointed out by the ranking member, but they've done a great job, and we need to make sure that we do this thing right. I see as a problem, and just an observation to me, my communications normally with the general aviation community, because I've been involved in it for so many years. But it just seems to me that there's not a lot of communication going back and forth. And I would just suggest, judging from your past performance, that one of the first things you might do is get them all in one room and talk about it. It's surprising how sheltered people are in their own opinions. Just a thought. What do you think about that?
Thank you very much for making that suggestion. And obviously, if confirmed, the convening power of the Secretary of Transportation is immense. And that certainly could be put to good use in convening these various stakeholders to talk about an important issue like this.
Yeah. One of the things that has not been mentioned so far, and a lot has been mentioned during this, is the use of drones and how significant that is now. It started out with, in my experience with them, in the House Armed Services Committee, then the Senate Armed Services Committee. And of course, we had some provisions put in the FAA bill to facilitate the use of drones areas like pipelines and other areas. And I know this is going to be one that is going to be of interest to you. One of the inhibiting factors in drones is all the over-regulations that are there. Do you, number one, agree with that, and do you have plans to attack these regulations pretty quick in your service?
You know, the drone started out as you mentioned, for the Department of Defense. It's an emerging technology. There are those who see the benefits of commercializing them for various uses. It's transforming the way we work, the way we do commerce. There are also others who are very concerned about privacy issues, security issues. And again, for going forward with an emerging technology as important as this, with such vast implications for our future, I think we need to talk about it. We need to have, again, a national consensus on where we're going.
Okay.
State-by-state patchwork is of concern, and what does that mean for federal regulation? So I look forward to working with the committee and also with the Congress on these
That's
issues.
great. My time has expired, so for the record, if you would address something that hasn't been addressed, and that is the energy infrastructure, which is hasn't really been given the attention that it should, and perhaps you can give me your ideas, give us your ideas for the record.
I would be glad to do so.
Thank you, Senator Inhofe. And